This is BC Spirits, your look at the province's burgeoning distilling culture.
Welcome to another episode of BC Spirits. Of course, I'm your host, Sean Sewell. This week it is still dry January. For myself, I've had a drier January than usual. So I wanted to touch base. Last week we did bitters, the week before that we did some more syrups. This week we're really touching down. We're doing two brands of syrups. We're doing the Frostbite syrup company, as well as the Mixers and Elixirs. So we're going to go through those and sort of see how that all flows out. For me, the first one up is one of my favorite things that I found during Christmas markets. It is the Frostbite lime cordial. Now, I am a massive fan of lime cordial because I like dirty gimlets. Now, when I say dirty gimlets, it's basically 2-to-1, which means it can be 4-to-2, so on and so forth. The great thing with the Frostbites is that it is a fantastic lime cordial, and for gimlets it's awesome, even if you're just doing soda streams. The one thing that I love using it for is 2 ounces of the Sheringham Lumet, the non-alcoholic gin distillate, 1 ounce of the lime cordial, top it up in a soda stream with water, and then gas it. I find it really, really tasty. It's been my sort of go-to drinking thing this month. Now, I know Rose's lime cordial has changed dramatically over the last 100, 200 years that it's been around. But this really, for me, harks back to a really nice lime cordial. Just really tasty. It's got that nice zing from the lime. Again, my favorite thing from Frostbite is the lime cordial to date. So next up, we've got the Kalamazoo lime. Obviously, this is going to be a little bit different. I haven't tasted a lot of these things, so it's the first time for me as well. Ooh, Kalamazoo lime, much more like on the nose, orangey, tangerine-y, mandarin sort of thing. On the palate, get more of the sort of the pithy flesh. It's really quite nice. It's sort of like a cross between lime and orange. Really fun. Now, why do I like syrups, especially like we've got 12 local syrups here today, is because I believe that why would you make lime cordial when you can buy it from a local purveyor? For me, why make something if you can buy it as good, if not better, than what you make? So next up is the elderflower syrup, which I use a lot of elderflower syrup in a lot of my cocktails. It gives you that pop of elderflower without the cost of having the elderflower liqueur. Elderflower is super hard to process, so it's nice to see them processing it for you, because it's a bit of a pain in the ass to make elderflower syrup at home. Oh wow. On the nose, you're getting the flower, you're getting a lot of the stem. Very green, with that really floral elderflower. Balanced out with the sort of like a bright acidity, with some green like bud notes and like stem notes, and then the nice round elderflower. We tasted the elderflower liqueur a couple of weeks ago from Arbutus. Goes down really well. Key lime and mint is next up. I'm expecting the same sort of thing, almost like a sweet lemon with a hint of mint in the background. Oh yeah. Whew. Acidity is there. Really strong. Acidity's there. Then it comes through lime, and then the mint finishes up. That would be really great as a sub syrup in a mojito. I know that's very rudimentary, but for these, like, just think about the options. So next up is the rhubarb ginger. What a wonderful pairing. Rhubarb and ginger go together so well. Very ginger forward, and then in the back palate you get the rhubarb. Beautiful, sweet, like fresh rhubarb in the palate, not stewed, which you get a lot with the syrups because you cook it. Still very bright and nice acidity. So what I would say with these, because we're going to move into Shrubs with the Mixer and Elixirs, these are straight up syrups. Anything that calls for simple syrup, why don't you sub out for one of these? Because it's just going to add a dimension to the drink. It's the same thing with any ingredient when it comes to cocktail making. Can you sub it out? Excuse me. Can you sub it out? Can you make it a little bit more dimensional by just subbing out a simple syrup or a ingredient or a something? So every juice, everything should be like a gin can be infused. A syrup can be changed up. So keep in mind those ones. Again, Lumet from Sheringham and the lime cordial, 2-to-1, shaken. It's delightful. You don't even really need to shake it because the Lumet's already got all that dilution. So I did a Frostbite lime and Lumet at one of my book signings for Great Northern Cocktails at Munro's because it's a bookstore, so you can't do alcohol. And it went down really, really well. It's really tasty. So next up, let's get into the mixers and elixirs. So I've started with the nectarine shrub. Now shrubs technically are basically acidified syrups. So let's have a look at the recipes here just so I can break it down for you. Nectarines, organic apple cider vinegar, cane sugar, and ginger root. So it's the addition of cider vinegar, or well, vinegar in general, to give it this sort of rounded acidity. Vinegar has tartaric acid as one of its things, so it's different to citrus, which is a mixture of citric and malic. This is tartaric and lactic, so you get much more different texture flavor profiles from different acidities. I love nectarines. I really, really love nectarines. Apple cider on the nose, with a hint of ginger on the back of the nose. But on the palate, nectarine comes up, the apple cider shoots down the back of your throat. The ginger's there for a little spice. Oh, this is great. Mixing this with just soda or subbing in for cocktails as well. If you are going to sub shrubs into cocktails, be very wary of the acidity level because you're adding extra citrus to a citrus cocktail. I'm going to play with the sweetness there. Next up is the cucumber shrub. Of course, I'm looking forward to this one because I really feel like this one, I've got an idea for this one for you at home. Ooh, on the nose. Green skin, flesh of cucumber on the palate. Apple cider vinegar is a little bit more subdued in this one. The black pepper and salt, for me, this one, add it to your Caesars, is going to give a good pop. Caesars, I know that's very rudimentary as well, but adding an ounce of this to your Caesars is really going to give you some nice texture and body to your Clamato juice. Something a little bit different. Next up, the quince shrub. I'm always a big fan of quince. I love quince, actually. I don't use it enough. Again, like, it's funny how the first one had that apple cider on the nose, but these two don't. Quince on the nose, apple cider just in the back. Got some apple juice in there as well. Oh, wow. That is a delight. That's my favorite one so far. This is fantastic. The quince shrub, really, really tasty. Go with your like cucumber gins, that sort of thing. Your Mad Lab number 6 is a great one for that one. Next up, the rhubarb shrub. On the nose, the sweet rhubarb is there. Apple cider in the finished. It's got hibiscus flowers in it as well, which is really, really comes out real nice. Great color. Yeah, so this is like, again, you can use these as additions and subs for simple syrup, but you can also add them as an ingredient. I think this in a bubbly cocktail, like sparkling wine, would be fantastic. Next up, the grape hop. So Concord grapes, organic apple cider, sugar, and hops. I'm interested about this one because of obviously hops is something that's very BC right now with the beer movement. Oh, but Concord grape on the nose, just pop. Like a sweet Concord grape that you'd get from the supermarket or the grocery store. On the palate, super balanced. A Concord grape, I'm not a big fan of the grape flavor. I think it's the medicine thing. I think people have a love-hate thing with like traditional grape flavoring. But the apple cider vinegar is really balanced out with the thing. The hops, I'm not getting too much, but I can get a little bit of like that aromatic hoppy sort of flavor profile that you get from your hops. We've done the hop whiskey from Okanagan Spirits. Hops can be either a sort of a very saturated flavor profile in the thing, but it can also be aromatics on the nose. Next up, we've got 2 left. We've got the Cherry Thyme. Cherry Thyme and Thyme, T-H-Y-M-E, not T-I-M-E. It's Cherry Thyme. Cherries, organics, apple cider vinegar, cane sugar, fresh thyme. On the nose, you're getting the apple cider vinegar and the dry thyme, like thyme in a herb garden. On the palate, the acidity of the apple cider vinegar in the back of your throat is huge. Cherries on the front palate. The thyme sort of sits there a little bit differently in this. It sort of overlays everything. This is sort of a real beautiful, dry, stalky leaves, and then in the finish now, when the acidity is sort of rolling off, it's a very dry thyme sort of flavor profile. I would play around with like smashes and stuff with this one. Bourbon, cherry thyme, maybe bunch up the thyme in there with a little bit of a kick of thyme, a fresh thyme in the drink. So, and do a smash style. So, next one up is a Salal. Now this one is, they sent me a message about this one. I believe that they use the Salal berries from Okanagan, from Odd Society in Vancouver. In this, the Salal after their Salal gin's made at Odd Society. So this one's sort of like reusing ingredients that have already been used. Apple and Salal. Ingredients: Spartan apples, organic apple cider vinegar, cane sugar, Salal berries with gin and juniper. But I think there's no alcohol content. On the nose, the Salal berries are such a potent ingredient. Like, it really just overshadows everything on the nose. Oh, that's so good. On the palate, you gain that apple. Big apple. Salal berries are sort of in the back palate. The acidity. I would go with pumping this up. Half an ounce of Salal gin from Odd Society. Splash of this, top of bubbles, or shaken. The great thing with Shrubs, guys, you have that acidity level, so you can almost sub these for lemon juice, lime juice, acidic juices, and you're just adding another dimension. So shaking 2 ounces of these with a splash of the syrups and like 3/4 of an ounce of these Shrubs, shaking and straining, you can really get a lot of flavor out of that. So 2 very different styles of syrup companies here. Drinking vinegars, I think, need to become bigger. This with some soda. Again, it's dry January. Explore these local ingredients, and bartenders, if you're making this sort of stuff, like, don't make lime cordial unless, of course, you're making a cutting board lime cordial, which is leftover scraps of citrus and stuff to try and be a more sustainable program. But there's a ton of stuff here that you don't need to make. You can go out, support local purveyors, and get some really great products. So, on that note, thank God it is the end of dry January next week. Next week, I think I'm going to be doing like cask finished whiskeys, because I got a fair few over Whiskey Fest. Please tune in on Thursdays or tomorrow. When I interview distillers from across the province. I think tomorrow is Steve Lee from Douglas, but don't quote me on that. Go out and find these guys. 9 times out of 10, you go to your local farmers market, you'll find these guys. But go out and support local purveyors. Go support local distillers. I hope you're enjoying these episodes with the dry January sort of theme, bitters and syrups and whatnot. But I really appreciate everybody's support. Have a good week. I'll see you next week. Bye.